Hi, welcome back to part 28. It's taken a while for me to get the next video up, longer than I thought. The last week has been a bit mental. One of my sons went off to Poland with a school trip, which was absolutely fantastic for him. They visited Auschwitz, which has had a profound effect on him, which I think is all to the good. They also had some fun. They went to the theme park and water park and some salt mines, and yeah, fantastic opportunity for anyone to do. So yeah, it's been a bit crazy this week, but we are back. I have made some progress with some of the beds. So if you watch the last video, you see that me and pallets did not get along at all. It was nowhere near as easy as I thought it would be, or that it looked on other people's channels. So yeah, that was quite a shock for me. So although obviously I'm not spending any money, I did buy something. I have a new toy. It only cost £10 off Amazon, which I thought was brilliant. Because of how cheap it was, I wasn't sure if it was going to do anything, be effective, or even work at all. But I've been absolutely amazed at it. I'm going to show you what I've got right now. So this is what I bought. It's a cordless chainsaw. Sounds a bit drastic, but it's only little. There you go. It's a tiny little chainsaw. And when I saw it, I was like, you know, it's supposedly for cutting through big branches, trees, things like that. So I didn't know how it was going to work to try and dismantle these pallets. So I've had a go at it, and it's brilliant. I will show you it in action. For 10 quid, I don't think I can complain, because the effort that I was putting into it last time and getting absolutely nowhere, it's worth every penny. So I'll show you how it works. Okay, so I got told off by my mum and my husband on my last video for cutting wood across my leg. I was perfectly fine, no injuries, but it isn't the best way to do things. So today we are going safety first, and I'm wearing goggles. See that? Yeah, stop moaning at me. And I want to show you how this works. I mean, it's not rocket science. You press a button and it cuts stuff. It's not as fast as maybe using like a chop saw or a circular saw. It takes a little bit more effort, but he gets the job done. And it's not the cleanest cut in the world, but as I said last time, we're not making fine furniture or anything. It's going to be covered in crap anyway, so it does what I want it to do, and it's pretty fast. Ta-da! For 10 quid, you can't moan. It came with gloves, goggles, a little bottle of oil, a spare chain, and my joints are praising me right now and thanking God that I haven't found a cheap power tool for the task, because hand tools and arthritis just really don't go together. So yeah, that's it. That is what I'm doing to cut up all the pallets. One point to make with this is it does mean that I lose some wood. So if I was to rip these apart with brute strength that I don't have, I would be able to get each one of these planks plus the ones underneath. In theory, in practice, all the planks were just splitting anyway. So now I'm cutting across, so I'm losing the planks underneath as wood. But what it does mean is that I'm left with these little bits that stick down, which are really, really handy for then hammering into the ground to keep the bed edges stable. So yeah, I think it's a win. I'm going to class it as a win, and we are going to say that pallet wars is over, and I'm happy to move on like this. So if you're in the UK at the moment, you will know that the weather has been hot, by our standards anyway. It was getting above 30 degrees over last weekend. So I didn't come down here then because I said I wouldn't. I stayed at home, I drank beer, kids had water fights, it was great. And then it rained quite a bit, and now it's getting hot again. So, this is what Britain calls summer. The downside of having the rain and then the heat and then more rain and then more heat is that everything grows a lot. I mean, that might sound really great if you've got a really organised plot and you want your things to grow. My plot is not really organised yet, and the only thing that's growing on it is this. Weeds, stingers, brambles. It's getting out of control. So hopefully we're gonna have a really productive day today. I'm gonna get some of this cleared. Can you see it? I'm gonna get some of this cleared. We are hopefully gonna get some wood chipped down on the paths. And when you're clearing stuff, you've got to have somewhere to put it. Compost bins. I am going to attempt pallets again to make my own compost bay. I'm going to need a lot of compost. I'm trying this whole no dig thing. Obviously I don't have compost at the minute because I've just started, which means buying it in, which is a brilliant time to talk about this video sponsor, my mum, aka the machine. She has bought me some compost. I've started filling a couple of the beds that I've made. If I can turn you around, I'm not sure how to do that. Okay, so this bed over here has 2 bags of compost in it. This bed over here has 1 at the moment. I was really nervous about the compost. I bought some from Asda a few weeks back to pot up some annuals in pots in my back garden. And when I opened it and I got it out, it was awful. And it's this whole no peat thing, which I totally understand. It's really bad for the environment, but it was so awful. It was just like matted wool and strawy bits of wood. It didn't resemble any kind of compost or soil that I've ever seen. And so when I got these bags, I thought, I don't know what the quality's going to be like. Well, it's not actually that bad. I'll take you down here. Right, it's a bit dry at the minute because obviously it's really hot and it's all dried up, but the consistency of it is not that bad. It's quite crumbly. There's a few bits of chipped wood in there, but not tons. It's nothing like the stuff that we got from Asda, which was literally just like a carpet. It was really hard to separate. So I've got that in these beds here. This stuff we bought from Aldi's, which, it was cheaper than the stuff in Asda, and I think as far as peat-free compost goes, it was much better quality. I know you can get much better compost, but it's really, really expensive, and I'm not willing to spend that. Hopefully, with the addition of compost bays, where did you go? With the addition of compost bays, I won't have to buy compost in the future. I can make my own, and let's face it, there's plenty of waste material on this plot to get me started. I've been researching composting. I live such a rock and roll life, so yeah, it's actually really interesting. There's a book by one of the channels I subscribe to, Simplified Gardening, and the guy who does that has brought a really in-depth book out all about composting, and I did get a copy, and it's so scientific. You can make it as simple or as complicated as you want. We're going to start simple. The 3-base system. I'm learning how many greens and browns and what is green and what is brown to put in it. So we'll go on a bit about that in other videos. But yeah, he goes really into depth about the soil microbes, and it's really deep. You can go really, really deep into it if you want to. In the future, sure, hopefully I'll get better at it and I'll make better compost and more of it. To start off with, we want to keep things as simple as possible. The one thing that I do want to try and do with my compost bays is to insulate them. So I've got a load of this insulation left over from, I may have mentioned we're doing a garden room project at home, so we insulated the base, and there's quite a lot of this 50mm Kingspan Celotex insulation I'll show you. And I'm hoping that by insulating my first compost bay, I can maybe turn it into some sort of hot bin to compost stuff quicker. We'll see. I don't know how that's going to work. We'll see. But that's the plan. So the plan for today: paths. Turning around again. Paths. Compost bay. Nettle tea. And see if we can get the beds finished. Wish me luck. Does anybody else, when they're working, just lose things like instantly? I had a hammer in my hand 2 minutes ago and I cannot find it anywhere. It's ridiculous. Okay, so this is the area that I have designated compost bay area. It's got a lot of brambles growing all over it at the moment. It's going to be not right next to the apple tree, a little bit further forward, because I'm a little bit concerned about leaching. While I'm here, I have a question about this apple tree. It's got all this stuff on it. Can you see? It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. That will focus. It's almost like cobwebs. Experienced growers out there, is this something that I should be worried about? If so, what do I do about it? Okay. Obviously I know it needs supporting. There's a lot of apples on it and it's like drooping down to the floor, but yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about the cobwebby type stuff on there. Some of the apples looking a little bit scabby, I don't know. So if anyone has any ideas, if this is something I should be concerned about and what to do about it, please do let me know. So in this area is where we're putting the compost bays. I'm going to clear the brambles. I've salvaged some pallets or pieces of pallet. There's this massive one here, which is like 2.4 meters long and a meter high, which I'm going to use at the back. It's not the best quality pallet. It's a bit rotten and broken in pieces, but I'm going to shore it up and I think it's going to be fine for my purposes for now anyway. And then there's a couple more that I'm going to use for the sides of the first bay. So I've got enough to make, I think, one compost bay out of the 3 that I want today, and then I can add to it as I get more materials. So we will do that now. Also, just a quick word of warning, I have taken my cardigan off. I usually keep it on because I don't like my huge arms on view, but it's just too hot. It's 24 degrees right now, and so I don't care. If you are of a sensitive disposition, I would suggest you look away. Okay, so a lot of things went wrong there. Chief among them, I have broken the bit on my impact driver and stupidly didn't bring any spares with me. I've got some nails and I'm wondering if I can nail it in. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work because the screws were, you know, designed to pull the wood together. I don't think I've prepped the ground well enough because it is on a bit of a slope, as you can probably see. So now I'm debating whether to try and nail it together or whether to move on to something else until I can get back up here with some new driver bits. Problem is, I've got a car full of insulation, which I wanted to bring up to put in the compost bay, and I don't think it's going to fit in that tiny shed. And if I just leave it out, it's just going to blow all over the site. So if I can't do the compost bay today, I think I'm going to have to take that insulation home again, which is a pain up the arse. Sometimes I get really mad. Nothing is easy, nothing is simple, nothing is going right at the moment. But I am actually enjoying this. I'm enjoying it a lot, and I know that I will get it. It's just going to take a bit more effort and less rushing. Prep the floor properly, because if that pallet wasn't so bent on such a slope, it probably wouldn't have broken my drill bit. I just couldn't be bothered to pull all the plastic back and level the ground, which in hindsight has just made my life more difficult. So patience is a virtue. I'm going to try the nails. I'm going to see what happens. If it doesn't work, then we're going to leave the compost bin till another day, and I will go make some nettle tea, because we're British and tea solves everything. So it's official. My nails are not long enough to go through the pallets to join them together. So project compost bin is on hold, probably until next week now, because it's almost the weekend and I've got stuff to do at home. So I'm going to get on and see if we can make some nettle tea. We've got to have at least one success today. I mean, the beds have gone really well. The beds have gone well. But yeah, we're going to make some nettle tea and then go and see if there's any wood chip left. I was going to do that first today, but when I got here, there were so many cars parked around the area where we had the wood chip. I literally had to park out on the street because there was no parking here. And I'm never going to get my wheelbarrow up there. So hopefully it's pretty quiet at the moment. People have gone away and I can get the wheelbarrow to get some wood chips. But I'm going to see if I can cut some nettles down and cover them in water and make tea. One other thing I did was empty this barrel. It was full of the most rancid water ever and was over there in the surrounded by nettles. So I wanted to get rid of the nettles, obviously, because I don't want stinging nettles on my plot, but I had read that they are absolutely brilliant for making your own fertilizer. And as we want to keep costs to an absolute minimum, I thought, why not take what nature has provided, all these stingers over here, put them into the water butt, cover them with water, and if I do that, apparently in a couple of weeks time I will have like a nettle tea, which I can then bottle up and use as a fertilizer. I haven't got anything planted at the moment, which obviously you know. We're still clearing, we're still making beds. My plan was not to plant anything until the spring, was to get all the infrastructure done first, and then, you know, kind of get ready for a new planting season in the new year. But it says the nettle tea keeps for a year, 18 months even, so anything that I make now I can use to fertilise the place, all the plants next year. See my plot neighbour's plot? It's so gorgeous. It's so neat and tidy. And look at that. I'm so jealous right now. Never mind. Okay, here's the thing. I think I started this vlog off quite positive and hopeful and determined to get a lot done today after last time and struggling so much with pallets and not getting as much done as I'd hoped to do. And then everything started to go wrong, and I feel like today's vlog has turned into a really moany, whiny. So I tried to do the compost bay, and it was difficult, probably mostly from my own fault, from trying to rush it and get something done, and I broke the bit on my impact driver, so I couldn't finish it, which means I'm now about to cart a load of insulation all the way home because I was going to insulate it, and that's going to have to just like stay in the back of the car. I think I'll try and come up tomorrow and see if I can do that. Then I wanted to put wood chip on the paths. So I thought it's all really quiet here at the moment, everyone's left. When I first got here there was loads of cars parked around it's a really small wood chip pile that's left over from a delivery ages ago. And so I took my wheelbarrow up there and I thought I'll grab some of that, but there was still loads of cars surrounding it. I don't know whose they are because there's no one here. We do have, I mean, this is only half the actual site of allotments. There is another section to it over there, so there could be people over the back, but I think some of them, there's like vans that are like council vans, so they must be doing something in the area, and they're all parked around it and there's no way I can get a wheelbarrow in there, so that scuppered that. So I thought, fine, I'll make some nettle tea. And sorry, I think something's crawling up my leg. And so I harvested nettles. Do you harvest nettles or just rip them up? I ripped up and cut down some of the nettles on various areas of the plot because they need cutting down anyway. I thought I'd do something useful with them. I stung myself a couple of times after the course. So I'm just being stupid. And I put them into the barrel. But it's not full by any means, but it's, you know, it's at least halfway up, so I'm hoping that will work. And I'd lugged the hose pipe from home up here today. I drive, it wasn't that hard, but yeah, I brought the hose pipe up and I took it to my nearest tap to find that it just doesn't fit on the end. It's got a different connection. It just doesn't, it won't go on, it wouldn't go on no matter what I did. at that point I just honestly just wanted to sit down and cry and then go home, because I've been here for hours. I'm going to try and keep this video shorter than the last one, but you know, I'm not showing you everything. I've been here for hours and I don't feel like I've actually achieved anything, because before I come to the allotment I make myself a list. You know, a lot of people do, whether it's a mental list or whether you write it down. And my list went, cover the paths in wood chip and weed membrane, make the edges for your vegetable beds, build and insulate a compost bay, and collect nettles to make some nettle tea. That was my list, 4 things to do. And in my head, that's like 4 things. You know, it'd take me an hour. I underestimate how time consuming and difficult and frustrating some of these things can be. And things do go wrong. The beds went really well. My little saw is just brilliant, and it made short work of cutting all the pallets down to size. Unfortunately I couldn't finish them because I broke the impact bit trying to do the compost bay. So, but that did go well. But it seemed like after that point everything just went to hell. And then something positive happened. One of the other plot holders, way over the other side, never seen them before, had come over and was obviously seeing me struggling to fit this hose pipe to an end that just wasn't going to accept it. And he said, "You got the wrong fitting there, love." yeah, that's me. So he went and got his fitting and he showed me what I need. They cost like £2 or something. In fact, I may even have one at home in the drawer that came with my hose pipe. And he lent me his so that I could use it. And it was just that little thing that made me feel so much better. And so I just sat down for a few minutes and had a look back at some photos of when I got here, and the weeds and nettles and brambles were shoulder high and covering everything to what it is now. And yeah, I have made progress. I've made fantastic progress, and I have learned a lot from today. And one of the main things I've learned is I can't work to the pace of other people. Those 4 things that I listed might have taken an hour, 2 hours for someone else. It's going to take me probably a couple of days because I can't move as fast. I can't bend. I have to sit down every 5 minutes to try and get my breath or rest. And I'm realising my own limitations. What does that mean? The allotment, does it mean that I just shouldn't do it? Absolutely not. It just means that everything that I do is going to take longer, and that's okay. That is okay, because it will get done, and I will be so proud of myself at the end when it is. So I wanted to end the vlog on a positive note after all my moaning and bitching and complaining today. I've got nettles in a water butt. I'm going to fill it up, well not fill it up, just cover them with water, put a lid on it, and then I'm going to go home and have some food. And I'm going to come back tomorrow with a new driver bit, and I'm going to give myself 1 task to achieve each visit instead of 4. And then maybe at the end of each visit I will be happy to have achieved it. Or not. That 1 task will probably go completely wrong. But no, we're being positive. I'm gonna go make some nettle tea, and hopefully the next vlog we will have a completed compost bay. If you're still with me, thanks for watching. See you then.